Welcome to Keeping Up with Our Community, a podcast for and about Romeo Community Schools. Each week, we will invite different guests to share insights about some unique aspects of our schools. This podcast is powered by the MIT TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than MIT TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and you can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the MIT TV of Romeo, Michigan, and you can contact them right now via email at mit.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. Hello, my name is Marianne Brush, and I serve as the Communications and Marketing Supervisor for Romeo Community Schools. Our next few episodes will focus on fine arts throughout the district. Because of the depth and breadth of our offerings, this will be a 3-part series. In part 1 of the series, we will hear from our elementary art and music teachers. With us today are art teachers Kathy Kurkowski from Indian Hills, Amy Reide from Hamilton Parsons, and Brittany McAllister from Hevel. We also have music teachers Adam Busatil from Hampar and Alana Phillips from Washington Elementary. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to start with our art teachers. And unfortunately, Nadia Slavic from Amanda Moore was originally scheduled to join us, and we ran a little late, and so she was not able to stay. But her coworkers are going to chime in a little bit with some of her thoughts. So can you each introduce yourselves and give us a little background on yourself and how long you've been teaching in Romeo? Kathy, let's begin with you, since you may be the veteran among the group.
Yes. Hi, I'm Kathy Kurkowski, and I've been teaching art at Indian Hills for over 10 years now. I started teaching in the school district in 2009, and I've taught at all the elementary schools besides Croswell. Prior to my teaching, I used to be a graphic designer at Chrysler for 15 years, and so I went back to school when my kids were very young and decided to be an art teacher. So here I am.
Here you are.
Yes.
And Amy?
Hello, my name is Amy Reide, and this is my 25th year teaching in Romeo. I received an associate's degree in graphic and commercial art from Macomb Community College, a Bachelor of Science in Art Education from Wayne State University, and a master's degree in educational leadership from Saginaw Valley State University. I have taught at all of the elementary schools also throughout my career, but I'm currently teaching art at Hamilton Parsons.
Brittany?
Hi, I'm Brittany McAllister. It's my 3rd year teaching at Hevel. Before I was in Romeo, I taught 2 years in Chippewa Valley schools. I received my bachelor's degree from OU and studio art K-12 education with a focus in photography.
Nice. Well, thank you. So we know kids love their specials classes and that they provide an important creative outlet for them outside of their core classes of science, ELA, math, and social studies. And it certainly contributes to the concepts of teaching to the whole child. Beyond this, however, I know teachers are very intentional in providing a time for students to think differently, be creative, and learn a little about the world around them. Can you share from your perspective the importance of teaching art and how you incorporate history, culture, and artists into your curriculum? So just no particular order.
Okay, I'll go first. Art education helps to stimulate creativity, inspire confidence, and foster personal growth. The arts provide students with a creative outlet that can improve their problem-solving skills. Students learn how to think outside of the box and come up with innovative solutions to a variety of concepts and skills being taught within our elementary art classrooms. Art education also enhances self-expression and communication skills. The arts teaches students to communicate their thoughts and feelings in a meaningful way. While creating art, students are learning to express themselves visually. Art education also promotes cultural awareness and understanding. The arts teach students about different cultures and traditions, which can help to foster empathy and understanding of the world around us and help promote cultural sensitivity and respect.
Thank you.
Kids love art to me. Art is an awesome opportunity for them to use their imagination, to get creative, to learn some new skills, as well as art history, and to learn about different cultures. Pretty much all of us elementary teachers, we always make sure that art history or maybe something multicultural is involved in the art project. Maybe it could be learning about an artist. along with also learning the different skills. So there's a lot of value in art. Art skills and math draw from the same part of the brain. So strengthening one's art abilities positively affects skills related to math. And I heard that before, that learning math right after art class is very beneficial for kids. Art is also a great outlet, like Amy mentioned, and meaning that they have time to themselves to draw, to think, to imagine. A lot of them will come down the stairs at Indian Hills and they're very excited about starting, their art project because they just might have gotten out of, from doing math or testing or social studies or something like that.
Pretty much agree with both of those statements. And I know Nadia would say something similar, but yeah, art is an incredible outlet for students. It's so important to get their own creative ideas and learning new art skills. It's a chance for them to play and experiment and learn about different ways of thinking, about learning about other parts of the world and culture, and teaching them about the artists that are, everyone knows that are famous, and then new contemporary artists and modern artists that have just a wide variety of art and skills that can teach kids new things every day. I know Nadia had mentioned, she said they typically create an art piece inspired by an artist's imagery. I know I do that as well. We'll learn about the artist, some background history, and then we create something inspired by that artist. Or I personally use stories as well, so illustrators and books and all that from authors that will read the story and then make a art piece create an art piece inspired by the book or the artist or the artist's style or anything like that, or the art history about it. So yeah.
So is there anything particular about this age group that you particularly enjoy teaching? They seem to be open to being creative and less self-conscious maybe. Do you have any anecdotes to share or highlights?
Well, I absolutely love teaching art to our students here in Romeo. Again, this is my 25th year, so I've seen a wide range of students, and I've always taught at the elementary level. To me, my job is a privilege. I have the privilege of working with the most creative students on a daily basis. My art students continue to amaze me every day with their willingness to learn, explore, and discover their own unique creativity. Experiences with art and the creative process provide students opportunities that help them develop essential knowledge and skills that will empower them now and in the future so that they may grow and make connections with the world around them.
Yeah, so I have loved teaching in Romeo. Hevel personally is an amazing building with great leadership, staff, and teachers. The students are equally amazing and very creative. Some exciting things we do at Hevel. I take art pieces that students have created at home or just on their own time, and we do an artist showcase each month. And we started an art club this year for the first time. So that's been fun seeing students who are more involved and more inspired to want to create art, to have another outlet outside of school or after school to come and create. And we've done messy things like splatter paint and origami projects. We've designed a t-shirt, and we're looking to create a mural for next year's art club. So we're just kind of thinking of things that they don't do in the classroom and bringing them to let them kind of create and explore there. And yeah, it's been really fun and exciting.
Well, I've truly been blessed to be teaching in this school district because, as you heard, the kids are great. And at Indian Hills, I've been given several opportunities to do different collaborative art projects. There's a few of them hanging in the office there, and there's a couple new ones that will be installed this school year. And one of them will be in the new section because we have an addition that they're just finishing up right now. And the kids love being a part of it also. And we've been very fortunate to have received funds and art supplies from both the Romeo Foundation as well as the Kiwanis Club of Romeo. They've both been very generous and supportive with the arts because, as we know, art supplies are real expensive.
Can you tell us a little bit more about these tile
Sure.
installations that are coming up? Because
Sure.
I've seen the kids working on them.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one was based on a book, It's Okay to Be Different by Todd Parr. And the kids, instead of having, because there's close to 500 students at Indian Hills. So what they did is they did like a buddy system. So there was like an upper L student with a lower L student, and they designed a face because the book is based on all these different faces. So like in the book, some of the little characters could have purple hair. Some of them have, like a green face. Some of them look like little Martians and so forth. So they were able to design a face, and then the two of them painted it together. So currently, the whole project is up on the stage, and I have it laid out. So now it's just a matter of having helpers install it. So just like you would tile a bathroom, they're going to have to tile it onto the wall. So that project will be located between the boys and girls bathroom and the upper L hall. And then we also, from the Romeo Foundation, we've received supplies to make these beautiful letters that are going to be installed in the new section. It's going to say Indian Hills Elementary. So that was a big project, and I think there's just 2 letters left. So that's 21 letters that I've been, well, not just me, it's like kids are basically working at. So I have had 5th graders rolling out clay. They make little handmade tiles, and then they're broken up little pieces of mosaic pieces, and then they glue them in these wooden letters that we received. So they're pretty big. It's going to be a big installation that's going to be about 15 feet by 8 feet.
Do you know when it'll be complete or when it'll be up? Will it be an unveiling?
Well, we were hoping for the Indian Hills Authors and Artists Night, but it's just a matter of if that part of the building if they'll be able to hang it by then. So, but I'm sure once it's installed, they will probably, Miss Wychuck will probably have it up on Facebook. And,
Yeah, stay tuned.
yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, so I'm real excited about it. And my plan is to make like a template just to make sure it's not going to be like the letters would fit nicely and it's not going to be too cramped for that space.
Yeah,
Take some time.
big project.
Yes.
Leaves a lasting legacy.
Yes. Yeah.
So in an earlier podcast, we heard from Hampar principal Rita Van Staveren about the specials offered at the elementary level. And she mentioned the sheer volume of artwork that you all produce or your students all produce. And I think what struck her was the amount of preparation that has to go into getting like a kindergartner to complete a full painting in a 1 class period. So for parents out there who just art is just like this messy thing that, can you share your secret to keeping order while also giving the students the space and freedom they need to explore their creativity? That's a big question.
I'll go first.
Sure.
Well, not all art projects that we work on, not all the lessons are done in 1 class period. I think I have one painting that I do in 1 class period because it's like simple enough. There's a lot involved, meaning preparing for the lesson, pouring the paint ahead of time. I even get paper towel and water ready and everything ready because as soon as one class leaves, let's say one class leaves at 10:35, another class is walking in at 10:35 to start. So we have to have all of our lessons prepped prior to that. And then that's just morning, and then we do it again, right after lunch. But a lot of the projects, the kids are usually pretty excited about working on them or finishing them, and I make sure that the kids finish them. So it's not all done in one day.
Maybe that's a
Art
bad
class,
example.
yeah.
But yeah.
But a lot of them are 2 or 3 class periods. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah. As a newer teacher, I definitely was one of those who thought like, oh yeah, we have to get everything done, today and have it be finished or, have them close to finishing or whatever. And now like that I've been teaching and learning and I definitely have spread out a lot of, the steps, and especially for the, kindergarten, 1st grade, you can only tell them how to do so, as much in smaller steps and simple steps for them. And they can only, handle every 10 minutes or so of focus and making it fun. Obviously art's always fun, but we got to learn some, background and other things like that too. But yeah, we definitely try to, it's not just like a one and done or make and take type deal. There's a lot that really goes into it. Yeah, with prepping and them creating and then looking at it and readjusting things and talking about their artwork, talking about the artists if they're learning about that, and vocab and all that is part of it as well.
And then cleanup.
Yes, clean up.
They involve the students in the cleanup.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that part of the
Absolutely.
routine?
We have jobs.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And to piggyback on what the other art teachers have said, I think it's important to start with a safe environment that's structured with clear expectations. And this helps create an environment that allows students the opportunity to explore their own unique individuality and imagination with the projects that we are working on. We work on projects, steps are broken down into grade appropriate chunks to ensure students ample time to complete their artwork. Many of our projects are based on the elements of art like line, shape, and color, just to name a few, and the principles of design like pattern, repetition, and balance. And while students are developing and creating projects, the teachers are always thinking about how students are able to add their own unique creativity so that they're meeting the project requirements, but still using their own voice while creating their artwork.
Well, since we will be hearing from our secondary art teachers later in the next two episodes, can a few of you share a little bit about how your students are prepared for the next level? Or how you help prepare your students for the next level?
Well, we collaborate, the 5 art teachers, the elementary art teachers, we collaborate with the middle school and high school, usually about once a year. And then we have CAS meetings weekly between the elementary art teachers, and we focus on priority standards. And for every trimester, that's how we grade. We grade on different skills that are going to help and carry through into middle school. Do you guys want to add on that?
Just yeah, we've talked to even the high school, middle school and high school teachers in the past, and just focused on how we can scaffold is the proper term, like the standards and what each student needs to know by the end of each year as they go in, and especially the 5th graders, what is the key points that they need to learn if they get art in middle school, and how that can help them when they get to that level.
And through the standards, students are practicing and building upon skills that they can use in middle school and high school. Students are working towards improving their fine motor skills, their use and understanding of art terminology, incorporating other content areas into the arts. I think a lot of people don't realize that the arts encompasses all of the content areas: math, history, social studies, and finally, learning about other cultures and practicing life skills, which is important. The arts allow us to easily teach those life skills like patience, collaboration, communication, and empathy, all while learning about artists and developing their own unique style and craft.
Yeah, understanding the world around them better. I mean, art's such a great way to
That's how we
So
understand the world,
Yeah,
is through
yeah,
art
the-
that's survived over.
universal language.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's an opportunity for the community to see some of this artwork. The annual Romeo K-12 art show is coming up at Starkweather Arts Center. The opening is on April 11, and can any of you share what people can expect when they go see it? Like, what types of art?
Yeah. Do you want to?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, each elementary level, we've all picked around 30 different student artwork to be displayed there. The middle school has their own artwork, and high school as well. So it's a whole district thing, and it's at Starkweather, and it's opening this Thursday. And I don't know if you want to add anything.
Well, I've been here from the beginning since we first started having district shows at Starkweather, and my students are so excited when I've passed out their letter
Yes.
and certificate. And I even gave them a fancy pen this year that was like a paintbrush. They are so excited to go to that special district art show. They're so proud. And when I've gone there in the past and we used to have openings for Starkweather, the families were astonished at the artwork that the kids produced in elementary and middle school and high school. And even when I'm there looking at all of the artwork, I'll look at the names. And I love seeing how my students from the past have progressed and developed their own art skills and what they're able to produce in middle school and high school. It's just amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great show.
All right. Well, any other thoughts you want to share with our listeners before we move on to music? Sometimes I forget to ask them key important questions. Are there any art shows at the building levels or this?
Yes, we're all preparing for Authors and Artists Night for each school. Indian
In
Hills,
May, yeah.
in May. Indian Hills is May 16th.
So every school has their own.
Right.
Okay.
Hevel's School-wide art show is May 15th, and I believe Amanda Moore's is as well.
Okay.
So Nadia.
15th.
Mhm. And Hampar's is May 16th, and that's another day where we're able to talk to, excuse me, parents and the kids and see the kids sharing their artwork with their families is just amazing.
Yes.
Washington's
Thank
art
you.
show is also May 8th.
Okay. So we'll
So
this
we
will
all
all
have
be on
different days.
Yeah, the buildings obviously will
Yes,
tell.
and
their-
it's so Starkweather is selected students from each level where we all have our own, and it's the whole schools, and everyone has multiple pieces, clay pieces and things like
So
that.
all parent families come out and see it all.
Yes.
Yep.
and-
Like
Yes.
ice cream social. Plus
Yes.
they also have writing too that the kids have done.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate
you.
it.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next up, we're going to hear from our elementary music teachers, Adam Busatil and Alana Phillips. Could you each introduce yourselves, tell our listeners a little about your backgrounds, including how long you have been teaching in Romeo or anything else you care to share?
Sure. So, my name's Elena Phillips, and I have actually been in Romeo since I was in fourth grade. I came to Hampar when I was in fourth grade, and so I've done school all the way through in Romeo. I did all my student teaching in Romeo, and I actually married into a Romeo family. My principal at Hamilton Parsons is now my father-in-law, which is kind of funny. And my husband does the high school band director job. So kind of born and raised here. But I started teaching in Romeo 18 years ago, but I have taught everything second through eighth grade. I've done English, science, elementary, and now I'm doing elementary music. So.
I'm Adam Busatil. This is my second year in Romeo. It's my 19th year teaching. I taught in a different district, teaching high school band for a while and elementary band and middle school band. But now I'm here in Romeo at Hampar. This is my second year just teaching music education and general music.
Well, we heard a little bit from the art teachers on the importance of providing a creative outlet for children, and obviously the same applies to music. Like art, music is an international language and another means for children to express their feelings and maybe even at times let their teachers know what's going on in their lives. Can you share a little about your personal philosophies about the importance of music to a well-rounded education?
Yeah, for me, looking at music education, it's I don't necessarily want to create musicians that are coming out of the school that are going to be professional musicians. There's so many aspects to the arts and to music. I want them to understand what good music is. How to create good music is important too, but like being able to not just turn on the radio and consume music. Like I want students to be able to understand why a song is a good song. And we talk a lot about in my classes pretty regularly, when we do listen to music, why is it a good song? You may not love the song or you may not love that piece of music, but why, what makes it good or what makes it, well done? That to me is really important, that we just don't consume music all the time or the arts. that, along with just helping the whole child. I mean, music really, I feel like, helps the whole child. It helps, brain-based learning. It's proven and shown to help with test scores and things. I mean, music standing alone is super important for our kids, but it also has all these other benefits. So it's really important to me that it's in the schools and that students are studying it. Because not only, and a lot of times you have students that may not do as well in other aspects of their life or in other points of their education. They may be, well, in special ed, they may have an IEP, they may have other things that are going on, but they excel in music and they don't need those extra supports to help them be successful. So they really find a niche for them, a place where they can be and to have a community and have a family as well.
Piggybacking off what he said too, I do a lot of that with my kids too. What makes the piece good? Why do we like it? Why do we not like it? What causes these things? But even if we don't care for a piece, why do we still need to appreciate it? So we do a lot of that. But given just the way our world is now, music is such a big part of cultures and being able to relate to each other through music. I have several kids that don't speak a word of English. They're completely Spanish speaking. Yet when they come into my room, they feel a part of us because I can show them how to do beats and rhythms and I can move their fingers on a recorder and all of a sudden they're participating in something that they might not have been able to do something like that in another curriculum setting. So where they might struggle with reading and language arts, they come in here and they're excelling. And so it's really important, I think, that we take a look at the cultural pieces of it too. And I have my kids bring in things all the time and we talk about just different aspects of them. So we'll celebrate Dia de los Muertos and we'll talk about the music that goes with that culture because I feel like it's really big in just interconnecting us as a people as well.
And I think also too, to kind of to continue that conversation with students coming from all over just different aspects of life, it breaks a barrier too. I feel like sometimes, I mean, do you see with your students, do you see them able to come in and like maybe create more friendships or not feel as overwhelmed learning a new language? Do you see that a
Oh,
lot?
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Thought so. Yeah.
Well, maybe to get a little bit to the specific, tell listeners about how your music classes are structured, from obviously instrumental, choir, and kind of the unique aspects of each. Would you teach music history? Do you learn about different influential artists?
I think the nice thing about general music, I can start and you can, interrupt me
no,
anytime you
absolutely.
want. But
And
I
will.
think I think with general music, what's nice is we can do everything. Coming from me personally, having the experience of teaching band for so long, it's like you have concert, you have festivals, you have all these marching band competitions that you have to do and you have to meet these targets. What's nice about, I feel like, general music is in elementary is we can kind of expose them to a lot of different types of musics, a lot of different types of cultural events that you just don't necessarily have time for because you got all these other aspects when you get into secondary. So, in my class, I like to do with my younger guys, I like to do a lot of music through play. Movement and play, because you might have a student that really likes singing but maybe not moving or do some of those things. But you also have the opposite. You have kids that really want to move but maybe not want to sing as much. So I try and like find a little bit for all, but there's a lot of time for the history, to talk about history. We do a lot with instrumental, like right now our upper elementary is working on recorders. Our first graders are working on their concert music. So there's a little bit of everything. We've had students participate. We've done outreach with our students this year. We've been rolling out outreach in elementary school. So not only are we just doing their formal concerts, we're getting the students out into the community in front of our community members to see what we're doing in our classroom. Like we did Baldrick's a few weeks ago. St. Baldrick's, our students performed. We did a football game where the students sang with the marching band. So we're trying to make them well-rounded individuals and doing that through music. I mean, that's kind of where I feel like we're at.
Absolutely. And even just incorporating all the different things. So I don't know what you remember about elementary music, but I know when I was in it, it was a concert was sing.
Yep.
That was what you did. And so I know that Adam and I work a lot together on planning our concerts and our curriculum and things. And even just with our first grade concert coming up in the spring, we have singing, but we have instruments in there. We're using body percussion. We're going to try to involve the audience in it. It just becomes more of an immersive experience when we can give them a lot of different opportunities. So they might know the body percussion parts of it, but we've talked about body percussion and why it was used originally. So it goes back to the history piece of it and just trying to incorporate it all in. And like Adam said, just making them well-rounded individuals.
And I think it sets them up too for like later in life. If the students want to perform or sing something for the class, I don't ever stop them. Like if they want to do it alone, like come on up and do it, because I want it to be an environment where they feel like I can do this. I don't worry about it. So if they do get to that speech class in high
Right.
school, or they do get to that, Spanish class where they have to do a dialogue in front of the class, or whatever class may be, they can present and feel comfortable because they've done it before and they've been doing it, at such an early age. I think that's so
And
important.
it's with it being just a more comfortable environment, I use that time too to teach the kids correct audience behavior. So when somebody's up there and they're presenting something to you, should you be fidgeting with your pencil? Should you be twirling around on the floor? And, it's more about like, how do we behave for each other? And how do we show that respect? And I know what a lot of our classroom teachers call that whole body listening. Like, what does that look like? And how do we show that for an extended period of time when somebody who's not your teacher is in front of you?
Yeah, and I think music's a great place for us to be able to teach just life experiences. I mean, that's another thing that I
Yeah.
think we really try and strive for. A lot of our kids aren't going to be performers, but we can learn how to be good human beings together and learn how to be good people. And how do we do that through music? And how can we share that through music?
Yeah.
Well, you kind of touched on this, but the whole idea of when they get older, like how preparing them for the next level, like they're learning a lot of the fundamentals, I assume. Any
Yeah, I mean, of course, the fundamentals, the basics of music, right? So you start off really young teaching them things like beat and rhythm, and then talking about their four voices, so they know the difference between singing and shouting. But then by the time they get to middle school choir, they're able to manipulate those voices, and where they get basic pitch matching with us, they can create the nuances, they can create harmonies, they can do the things that you have those building blocks for, which is super important. But even preparing them for the next level of, hey, even if you go in, you're not sure about an instrument, you don't know what to do, Mr. Hill's going to get you there because he's going to teach you the way we teach you. We're going to start small and work our way up. So just the vertical alignment, I believe, of our staffing is huge.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that we talk that we don't have tons of time to do it, but we do try to say, hey, in middle school band, what are you looking for our fifth graders to come out doing for you in middle school band? What do you want them to have? What can we do more? Kind of looking back at our teaching and reflecting on it and trying to adjust to what the needs are there. Same thing for choir and what have you. But we do have that communication, and there's even been times, not as much as I think we'd all like, but there's been times that we've been able to meet from top to bottom, high school all the way down to elementary, and work together collaboratively to come up with an idea of what we need at each level. And I think it's still more of a
what's
work
gonna
in
get them-
process,
yeah.
but it's we've had those conversations.
Well, and it's nice to be able to say, like, how can we get the kids excited for the next level? How
Right.
can we keep them going by having those conversations too?
Right.
the fifth graders recently visited, right?
The fifth graders visited. I know that the band came down
band
to
came
all
down,
the
yeah.
elementary schools and played for the
Yeah.
students of middle school band.
To get them excited.
Yeah, and we
about
try,
that level.
try and do, when we do community outreach, like it was second grade this year that
Yep.
went and performed with the marching band, so they got an experience of seeing what
They
that
sang
looks
the
like.
fight
They sang
song,
the fight
the
song,
marching
band.
band in a pouring rain.
It
I
did.
remember
It
that.
Oh my
rained-
gosh,
it
the
did
weather
rain a
was
lot.
awful.
Exactly.
Yes. But you know what? They were smiling, they were happy, they were excited, and they had just their big saucers of eyeballs, right? As they're watching this marching band behind them.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible because it was just something they've never experienced before. And like, what a memorable moment for them to go, I want to be a part of that.
Right.
It's really cool. And I'm sure it helps, the vertical alignment in my house of elementary to high school is very nice.
Right.
But, we can make things happen that way. But it's such a bigger collaborative time to be able to work things like that out. And it's just amazing to watch it. Even Mr. Hinkle just from the high school choir was asking us about who could audition for one of the parts in Shrek. And so he was able to reach out to us and we were able to help get kids audition for it and move into the Shrek part, which is really cool. So.
Yeah.
Well, the marching, I mean, that was, for them to be in the stadium to experience that with the
Right.
whole Barnabo, that experience. And
Yeah.
then I had a community member reach out to me because of something on Facebook and said that her father actually wrote the fight song.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
that's
So it's just that
awesome.
whole, community sense of this, people.
Yeah, and
relate
creating
to
a
that.
tradition for them, which I think is huge. Yeah.
So I know, I mean, that was one example of community outreach, and you mentioned on this the St. Baldrick's one,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
I know how important it is to get our kids out in the community. And so tell
Absolutely.
me, their listeners, a little bit about that event.
Well, we started the community outreach as kind of a way of almost flipping performances on their head, right? So we want to, of course, do the traditional performances and have the parents in, but we want to show the community what we're doing with these kids. And we want to give them these experiences of giving back and how music can help other people and how do we do that for them. So even just going out to the football game, like you said, people reaching out about, hey, my dad wrote that fight song or whatever. And then even just, people from the audience, like out in the audience, out in the stands, were talking to us about it as we were getting the kids out. And they were like, oh my gosh, this was so great. It's so neat to see this tradition carried on. I remember singing it back when blah, 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 and it was just really cool. But even going out to the St. Baldrick's event with the fourth graders, it was nice for them to be able to see, like, hey, by me singing, I can instill hope in others, and I can keep them going on and continuing like their heroic tributes to childhood cancer. So it was a really cool way of doing that. Granted, this is our first year doing that, so it's a work in progress, but we're working on it. I believe kindergarten is coming up next year as part of our rollout. So
kindergarten will be our next one. We're rolling out for community outreach, but I think it's important too, like Elena said, that our kids are out there doing something for the community. I know that we collect hours or whatever, hours for students for community service, but starting them early, it's important to know that we're out there and we're all in the same, in the same place, in the same community, and we can help others by just through our music. So I think just knowing that we can get out there and do something other than just stand in front of, which is great, standing up in front of our families and performing, but getting out there and doing it for others that may not get to see a performance or get to see something like that. And it gives something for our students as well to go out and say, hey, it's great to give back to a community that you live in and be a part of it and support others that when they're in need.
So in terms of performances for your families, what is coming up this spring? Do you have concerts planned?
First grade is coming up this spring. So mine's at the beginning of May. I think yours is around.
Mine's on May 7th at Hampar. And
Washington's is May 1st. But we'll be doing that one. We have fifth grade is doing their end of the year celebration, and we always tag a couple musical pieces onto that when their families come in. And then next year, as part of the performance rollout, we have the kindergarten outreach, but then we have our third grade performance coming out too. And that should be...
That's everything at that point.
Yeah, that should be all of it. Yeah.
Covers all the grades.
So all the grades will have some kind of performance piece.
Yep.
So I'll ask you the same thing I asked our teachers earlier. Is there anything I forgot to ask or anything you want to share?
I think, what's nice about Romeo and the arts for our program is there is such an importance of the arts here. I really feel like having a music teacher in every building is huge.
That is huge.
That's great for our students to see students twice a week. There's many schools out there that don't get that. So our students are really lucky that they see a music teacher twice a week. And I think it's just important that the value that is being put into music from elementary all the way through high school. It's a really great community. I bring my kids go to school here because of the importance of the arts in the school district, and we really believe in it. So it's a great community, and I think that it's awesome that we're the support of the arts. You don't see that in every school district, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I completely agree with that too. Being a musical family, I mean, both of us are music teachers here, but my son's also in the middle school band program, and you can just...
Does he have a choice?
It's funny. We did offer him the choice. It was strongly suggested he try it, but we always told him that if it wasn't his thing, that's okay. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got their own thing. He does not have to be like mom and dad, and he is just flourishing. I mean, he does great with Mr. Hill at the middle school. He's doing some honors band stuff, and it's just nice to see that our community is supporting that and helping kids see that this is important.
Yeah, so it's very important.
All right. Well, Adam and Elena, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to thank all of our art and music teachers for their time. We will continue this conversation with our middle school teachers in our next episode of Keeping Up with Our Community. Be sure to see the arts in action at the Romeo Student Art Show at Starkweather Arts Center on Thursday through Saturday, April 11 to 13, 18 to 20, and 25 to 27. The hours are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thank you for joining us, and tune in next week to keep up with Romeo Community Schools. This podcast is powered by the MIT TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than MIT TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and you can even edit your podcasts. That's all right here at the MIT TV of Romeo, Michigan, and you can contact them right now via email at mit.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com.